G'day everybody, where's Wally here. Once again, Brian's logic has tried to debunk the globe with some silliness. Well look, the gist is Brian has seen a video by Taboo Conspiracy. Taboo, or Ben, has seen a video by some new guy, Shimshon. And Shimshon did a decent job of documenting where he was, etc. It was taken at Ashkelon Park in Israel. Now the guy is saying that he went out to this location specifically to see Crete with the aid of the setting sun.
We are in the Ashkelon State Park. This is the sunset, cloudy day. Now looking through an infrared camera, you can see the sun clearly. I was hoping to see Crete behind that, which maybe is possible. That's 500 miles away. It looks like there's an oil platform obstructing the view, and maybe a...
Now this video is only in 480p and I thought that was a little bit odd, but Shimshon did state that he muffed up the recording setting, and well, who am I to say? I think we've all done that. Now he does have some good gear, and he's made his Lumix camera full spectrum by removing the IR filter. This helps, but it isn't magic. So Shimshon recorded something that vaguely looked like something that possibly might be something, but who knows? Well, I know who doesn't know. Ben, Taboo Conspiracy.
Hello everyone. I have an awesome video to share with everyone today, and it comes from the YouTube channel Shimshon.
Well, he took this video from Shimshon and all the meta and he ran with it, and well, he really has done himself a mischief with this one. Let's pick it up at 3 minutes 36 in Ben's video when he starts to describe the observation.
But the distance between Ashkelon National Park in Israel and the highest point in Crete was 616 miles.
Right, so the distance is 616 miles and the bearing is 296 degrees. Got it, Ben? So far, so good.
Shimshon didn't even know that the platform was going to be there when he planned this event. Although interesting, the platform and location doesn't affect the observation because we're relying on where the setting sun is and the angle to it.
Yes, we are lucky that the setting sun is there. It really makes it so easy to know exactly where Shimshon is and where he's pointing that awesome camera rig of his.
But it gets better. So, how can we confidently say that Shimshon actually filmed Crete 616 miles away and those aren't some distant clouds?
Yeah, I'm sure this is all about to get a lot better, Ben. And mate, that ain't Crete. But go on, show 'em how you know.
First, keep in mind that the whole event was carefully planned and executed, including a specific date and vantage point. This wasn't an accidental viewing. He used a high zoom, full spectrum camera to capture what very few people would be able to do, to capture the silhouette of Crete in front of the setting sun.
So he planned it, hey? Well, that's great and all, but it ain't no proof.
Second, the silhouette in front of the sun certainly looks like pointy mountains in the distance, much like Kenegu.
So it looks like pointy mountains, therefore it is pointy mountains. That's some weak source proving there, Ben. That's not up to, well, your standards that you demand of us. So how are you getting away with it?
But more importantly, the silhouette of the mountains in the actual video closely matches the same results from Google Earth. Here we have our pathway from the camera's location to the highest point of Crete.
Well, at least he tried to check the shape, well, in a fashion. But just note that Ben has a red line here. That red line is the line of sight from the camera to the high mountain. Oh, and by the way, did you notice how it disappears over the curve of the horizon? But let's not talk about that little inconvenient fact, shall we?
According to Google Earth on May 14th, 2023, this is what the sunset should have looked like on the same pathway.
Oh, hold on there, Ben. Why the hell are you not above the red line? Why are you to the north of it? Are you trying real hard to make the sun set behind the mountains there, Ben? I bet you tried it where you were supposed to do it, over above that red line there, and the sun didn't set where you needed it to. Hey, Ben, so you just moved it to here. Well, that's a little deceptive, isn't it, Ben? Now, what if someone like Brian's logic decides to make a globe earth smacking video using your video as a source, and he doesn't check your lack of honesty? That's going to be embarrassing.
This is what the sunset should have looked like on the same pathway.
Yes, what it should have looked like when it was on the same pathway. But you're not on the same pathway, are you, Ben? You're a long way off of it.
Keep in mind that Google Earth adds a phony curvature drop, which distorts the view of the mountains.
Google distorted view of mountains? Well, you know what else gives a distorted view of the sunset behind the mountains? You, Ben. By purposely placing the camera so far north of the line that you just described as the line of sight from Israel, you distorted the view. Didn't you, Ben?
Regardless, compare Google Earth sunset with the actual video. I have them here on top of each other.
No, you don't, Ben. You're faking one of them to match the other. Not good, Ben. Not good at all.
The silhouette of the mountains in Shimshon's video appears very similar to what Crete should have looked like from that angle.
That angle, Ben? But you're not looking from that angle, Ben. You moved. You had to move to make it line up, didn't you?
And the sunset angles match as well.
The sunset angles match as well? Really, Ben? Well, I have a feeling that many of my subs have already spotted the oopsies you made, Ben. You see, 296 is not 292.4. You think you're going to get away with saying 292.4 is the same as 296, Ben? Well, that's over 3 degrees different. And how much is 3 degrees of angular size in the Shimshon video, Ben? Well, we all know the sun is about half a degree wide at all times too, by the way, but let's just ignore yet another inconvenient fact, shall we? So where is Crete in the Shimshon's video? The sun angle is at 292.4, and Crete, according to Ben's own Google map, is 296. So 3 degrees is 6 suns to the right. Like this. Oh my, that's a lot of stretching the truth there, Benny boy.
Those two facts strongly support the claim that Shimshon did indeed film Crete.
And those two facts being shown to be not facts at all mean that, like the Black Knight, you don't have any leg to stand on, Ben.
Let's get to the coup de grace of the globe.
Well, as Ben has been less than honest and just made angles fit where he wanted them to and totally ignored the actual facts, his coup de grace is more of a coup de nah. The curved Earth is still hiding stuff, Ben.
That means the tallest point on Crete should have been 39 miles below the geometric globe horizon.
Yup, and it still is, Ben, no matter how much pixie dust you want to sprinkle on it. So when the sun was setting at Ashkelon at 7:29 p.m, Ben, the sun angle at the Crete was, according to SunCalc, 8.45 degrees above the horizon. Also, the camera in Israel was at 40 meters ASL, so there would be a dip angle down to the horizon of 0.19 of a degree. Now this means, Ben, that the sun coming down at 8.45 degrees to the top of Mount Ida would hit the ocean less than 20 kilometers away. That's just geometry. But Ben, you want the sun coming down at 8.45 degrees to pass the peak and then to turn to pass above the horizon at the dip angle from Mount Ida Peak, which is 1.45 degrees, but tell you what, we won't talk about another one of those pesky inconvenient facts that you don't want to talk about right now, Ben. And once that light has stopped going down and not hitting any of that flat water for 616 miles, then you require the light to be going back up to the camera at 40 meters ASL. I am so happy that you have this vertical light path paradox, and that you are more than happy to sprinkle your magic pixie fairy dust all over it, Ben. And you are also more than happy to mislead poor souls like Brian. He trusted you, Ben, to do due diligence, and you let him down real bad. Now he looks like a fool too. Well, total boo-boos constantly is done like a Sunday dinner. So just one other loose end to tidy up. Someone called Brian's logic.
Well, how are you doing? Okay. This is hopefully not a very long video. This is based on an observation I made from Israel to Crete. So I've kind of messed around with some of the filters. I'm on my older computer, so the clarity is not so brilliant.
Finally, we get back to Brian. Well, Brian just assumed that Ben was right, and I guess he never imagined his good mate would be capable of such fabrication and lying to maintain his globe-busting delusions. Brian didn't check. Brian never does check. Now I wonder if Brian, had he seen that 3-degree discrepancy, what would he have done? Would he have calculated what the angular size of 3 degrees at 616 miles would be? It seems to be about a whole island off, Brian.
So that means he's viewing Crete 616 miles away. So I did another one here. So you can see this here is Crete, and this is not the most clear.
There is very little to be gained or learned by watching the rest of Brian's video. He does the usual thing he's been doing for the last few months, trying to make some absurd sounding large scary figures to scare the children. Now if Brian had spent that time cross-checking Ben's video, he might have seen Ben's deception, and he might be avoiding this whole mess he's gotten himself into again, and all the comments that he's about to cop.
Which gives us this. So this gives us a radius of 7,532,058, right?
Scary big numbers, Brian, but based on nothing at all, so too bad, so sad.
Their only response to this, their only response can be an over 6 hour response.
Oh, Brian, you underestimated us yet again. My response is, that ain't Crete. Sean Hawkins, well, he'd put that in some more descriptive terms, shall we say. Professor Phil Bell, he took the time to point out that you're wrong, and of course, Wolfie did too.
There is no other response for them. This is it, right? So they need to claim that there is an 11,415 over 6 hour changing of the curvature of their globe.
No, we don't, because that dodgy maths is all based on a false claim. So your claim is also false too now, Brian.
So this is their globe, right?
Nah, Brian, that's a circle. Now I can't be bothered with any more of Brian. What say you, Wolfie?
Dear oh dear, Wally, once again we see flat earthers getting excited by what they believe is an observation that cannot work on the globe.
But as always, it is simply a case of them failing to do the analysis correctly. And all the supporters never do their own research and get led down the garden path. When you debunk their videos, the followers all have egg on their faces too. And of course, none of them want to address the elephant in the room. The angular size of the sun did not change.
Well, thanks guys. This is fun when they fail so hard. And for those of you who have been following along with my CNC adventures, I had a 500 watt spindle that stopped, well, you know, spindling.
That's very stuttery.
So I thought I would pull it apart and see what was wrong. Soldered them all and still no different. Seems like the current was only flowing through one pair of these 6 pairs of coils. I can fix that. Yeah, no, it went about as well as Brian's video did.